Hello everyone, Mackenzie McKee here. Welcome back to my Bodybymac channel. I think this is like my third or fourth video, so still new and fresh on this channel. Thank you everyone for showing your love and support. I can't wait for the future with this channel. Today we are going to be talking all about NPC competitions and training and prepping for one. Right now I am exactly 9 weeks out from stepping on stage for the first time since I've had my third child. Well, I work out and live a healthy lifestyle year-round, but I go into competition prep for 13 weeks, and once I hit 10 weeks out, I really buckle down. And then 6 weeks out, I take out that one cheat meal a week, and then 4 weeks out, I just grind. And then peak week, the last week before competing, is the most important week. Backing up, I've always been into health and fitness, and when I was 16 years old, I had my first son. And when I first got pregnant with him, I remember thinking, and all these people telling me like how their bodies were ruined after having kids and they didn't bounce back and yada yada. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's over for me. Like, I've always tumbled, I've always been small, I've always kept a good frame. And then I'm, over here looking at my mom, and she's a marathon runner, so she works hard. And I'm like, if I can look like my mom, she's had 4 kids. After having 1 kid, I will be happy. I am a type 1 diabetic. I stayed healthy throughout the pregnancy, and right after I had him, I started power walking, and when the doctor released me to work out, I was grinding. I was so dedicated. Like, if I wasn't nursing or at school, I was working out. And I looked really good after Gannon, and I finished high school, went to cosmetology school, and that's kind of where it all started. I've told this story on many other platforms before, but long story short, I just went to cosmetology school because I needed a way to survive, and it wasn't my calling. It wasn't what I was happy doing. I got my license, graduated high school. I called every salon. No one was hiring, and then I tried one more salon, which was out of town, and I was super frustrated because it was a longer drive, and the lady said, sure, you're hired, come in. And it was inside of a gym, so it didn't get much business because people go to work out. There wasn't many walk-ins. People really didn't even know the salon was there, and this was me staring out the windows. The owner was training for a fitness competition, and that sparked my drive for wanting to do one. So, and she really is like responsible for a lot of who I am today, because I told her, I said, I don't want to work in the salon anymore, but I want to do fitness competitions. I know that sounds crazy because here I am, just this little girl with no muscle, and she looked amazing. She was like, girl, do it. Like, let's get you started. And it's like her believing in me really sparked a fire in me because everyone else laughed at me. And so I competed in one show, and I didn't do very good, but I did a lot of self-training. But I'm gonna tell you something, that walking across stage, and even I wouldn't even say failing, because it was a huge learning experience. Like, I am so glad I did that competition. It is a NPC competitions is a sport where you want to do it or you do not want to do it, and I wanted to do it. They say only 2% of the world can handle the sport, and it's really not, it's not even a lifestyle you can live year-round. So much goes into getting you stage ready, and I just would sit and do hours and hours of research on what to do and this and that. And so I trained myself for a second show, and I did far better. I looked so much better for my second show, and then I did a third show and did even better, and things started lining up, everything started going good, and I went to the doctor, and I am 3 months pregnant. And I'm like, what? I'm supposed to step on stage next month. I am not pregnant. And so I thought about going ahead and doing the show, but I knew I was gonna start carrying water weight and bloating, and I just was tired. And then once again, I rolled back over. This was my third baby, so I hadn't competed in an NPC competition until after I had 2 kids. So remember that. So now I've had my third kid, and I once again went back into that. I'm not gonna get my body back. There's no way. It's like I had to completely start back over and making people look at me again, and it's taken 2 years to get there. And then I tried to compete and found out my mom had cancer the beginning of last year in the middle of a prep, and I didn't do that show, and then I tried to turn on do another show, and a lot of things happened that depressed me and caused a lot of anxiety, and I was trying to train through that. And one thing you need to know about doing competitions is that if you aren't mentally 100% there, you cannot physically get 100% there. You have to be just on your A game, no stress, no nothing. Stress can literally release hormones in your body and stop you from seeing results, which that's something we'll talk about in another video. It was a hard year. You know, I'm really sad for my mom. We celebrated a year this year, so she was given 4 to 8 months, and we got to celebrate a year, so that's really exciting. But that, and I'm not like trying to put her blame on any, I just needed to slow down and focus on her. My brain just wasn't there, and like I said, other things happened that like people made me think I had an opportunity, and I kind of put things aside for that. And then they, I mean, literally, I wouldn't even say slapped me in the face. I'd more say balled up their fist and punched me as hard as they could in the face. I had to take some time to find myself. I finished up last year working on Bodybymac, switching websites, business stuff, family. We bought a new house, we moved, like a lot of stuff happened. So I'm really happy that I didn't compete, because peak week was the week we ended up moving into our house, so there was no way that was gonna work out anyways. Now we are in 2019. I picked a show, I entered. Usually you have an opportunity to pay more and enter closer to the show even the night before, but I just 13 weeks out, I entered. I paid my entry fees, I bought my NPC card, and I'm like, I'm doing this, let's do this. And I buckled down, and I feel really good. I still have 9 weeks left, and I feel better than I did in my last shows when I was on peak week. So this time around, I have decided to hire a trainer, and I think that having that guidance, I did a lot of self-research and competed in my first 2 shows with help of that lady who owned the gym. And then the second one, I just did a lot of research and I grinded. I'm like, if I put the work in, then I'll know what I'm doing. I have a lot of NPC friends who helped me out. And this time I just wanted 100% structure. And so I've hired a trainer, and she competes herself. She actually just won the Arnold in the physique category. She is amazing, and I'm working with Justice Nutrition. They're helping me out. I'm a sponsored athlete with them, and they're like my family now. Hiring a trainer, especially for you newbies, is really crucial, and I think I could have done much better in those competitions had I had a trainer. You really need to meal prep. I was cooking every single meal my first prep, and it was like I spent all my time in the kitchen. Spend 1 day a week in the kitchen, spend a lot of time. Meal prep all your meals, get them ready so you can pop them in the microwave. That's a really good way to get burnt out. Every week my macros change. Well, not necessarily every week, but a lot of times you'll send in your pictures and she'll look at you and make some adjustments. So that's why you need that second eye, because I thought I was looking good and I sent in my pictures this week and she's like, let's make this one adjustment. It'll be like taking the 1/3 cup of blueberries out of your diet to see results. I did a video, and you guys can check that out. I will put it in the end card of what I eat in a day, so you guys can know what my diet looks like. But I stick to that diet, and you kind of have to get a schedule going. So a little bit about my schedule. I wake up and I teach 3 cardio classes for my Bodybymac program, and I use that as my cardio, because you don't want to overdo the cardio, especially if you're trying to build muscle. You can deplete your muscles. And then I go to the gym every evening. So a lot of people think that we spend 8 hours a day in the gym, and that's not necessarily true. I do spend about 4 hours a day on my workouts between posing, cardio, and weight training. And so you do have to have that time, and you do have to make it in your schedule, because if it's not in your schedule, you're not just gonna decide, okay, well, I'll go at this time, I'll go at this time. Even when I get off schedule because the kids have a program or something happens and I'm like, have to rearrange my schedule, it messes up everything, because I have to take this cold chicken and rice to and there's no microwave at the gym, and it's just like, it messes messes everything up. So you have to have a schedule. And if you are doing your workouts once or twice a week, don't even compete. I am so dedicated Monday through Friday because I know everyone else out there is training Monday through Friday, and then I do something small on Saturday. Sunday, I take that time to let my body rest and spend it with my family. There's a really good reason why I do that, because it's balanced, and it's like I wake up Monday just recharged, if that makes sense. But it is definitely really hard, and sometimes I feel like I'm the only one who's tired or hungry, and I'll text my other NPC friends and they're like, girl, I almost dropped out because I'm just so tired. And no, we don't starve ourselves, but we are working out really hard. And when you can't just go to the kitchen and grab something whenever you want, you just feel hungry. And then when it's that time, especially for women, our hormones change. When it's that time of the month, it's really hard for me to stay away from chocolate. So you have to be such a self-disciplined person. You have to be patient, you have to trust the process, and you have to be ready to grind. You have to drink. If you are addicted to pop and still want to have that Coke a day, you cannot have that Coke a day. I drink a gallon of water a day. I drink my BCAAs. I do my Justice Nutrition protein. But once again, you guys can see what I eat in the last video. But I don't know, whoever's watching this, if you just are curious as to what we go through a day, or if you want to compete. I've had a lot of random people message me and just say, I kind of want to compete one day. And so I tell them kind of what the lifestyle is. And a lot of days I am just sitting in the car, and it's really hard for me to drag myself into the gym. Because I'm just not motivated. And when motivation kicks out, you have to make sure that self-discipline kicks in. So you have to be 100% self-disciplined to wake up and to go to the gym during prep, because the people you're gonna step on stage with, they worked hard. And so you just got to think, how hard are they working? How can I work harder? And you have to remember not to stress yourself out through the process. It's really hard for me not to compare myself to other competitors. I've just learned, like, compete against yourself. The one thing I love about competing is having that goal, having like a time frame. I love, like, my favorite thing is to set a goal, set a time frame, have a plan out to reach that goal and crush it. And so this just really keeps me on track. My blood sugars are always better when I'm competing. And I love watching my body sculpt. It's like art to me, saying, okay, you know, I don't like how my shoulders are flat. I want to, you know, bulk them up. I mean, and then you can take your body and work hard and sculpt it in certain ways that you want it. It's bodybuilding, that's the sport. And I will never forget competing. I made it in the top 6 at one of my shows, and I placed 4th. And I remember standing next to a girl saying, no way will I beat this girl. She looks amazing. She got 5th place. And then I remember looking at another girl going, I think I got her beat. And she got 2nd. And I was just like, what are these judges looking for? So that's another thing to remember, is you never know what the judges are looking for. That is the worst part of the sport. I'll do another video on the cost of what goes into NPC competitions, but it is very expensive. You have to have your hair, your makeup, your spray tans, your bikini. It's like, kind of like beauty pageants. People know those can get expensive. So that's the fun part of it, is you train for 13 weeks, if not longer, to step on stage for 2 minutes. And it's an all-day event. You go, you know, really early in the morning, and you are there until bedtime. And so but during that time, there's hundreds of other competitors around you. There's different categories. There is, in the women's, there's bikini, fitness, physique, and bodybuilding. I compete in bikinis. Yeah, a lot of money goes into the food and the supplements and the entry fees and all of that. So make sure you have time, a coach, and money. Those are the 3 things that I just wanted to clear up. And then that you're ready to grind, and you are ready. If you're in a stressful time in your life, like I tried prepping in a stressful time, don't do it. Fix yourself first. Learn to love yourself and be ready before even starting prepping for a show. And then go into it to have fun and don't compare yourself to others. And if you get last, that does not mean I got second to last on my first show. That does not define you. That just like, I even had someone, was that embarrassing? And I'm like, no, it made me want to go in the gym and grind more. And so if you can't lose, then it's not a sport for you either, because once again, you never know what the judges are looking for, and you are competing against people working just as hard, if not harder than you. So it is a very, very tough sport. So you train for weeks, and you work out for hours and hours and hours, and you food prep and you do all this, when a big score of yours is to walk on stage and pose perfectly. Your pose and how you present yourself is a big score. And that's the biggest mistake I made in my first show, and I think I could have placed way better had I knew what, I didn't even know the poses or that I needed a posing routine. I literally went with no posing routine. I just did a front pose, did a back pose, like kind of watched some videos on YouTube. I don't know what I was thinking. That is the dead truth. When I heard that you could look your best, but if you don't know how to pose and work the stage, this sport isn't for you. Just go look good for Instagram. And so then I started doing posing classes, and I think that's why I did so much better in my second show. So I've done hours and hours of posing. I can't tell you how many days I get my heels on, put my phone up, get in front of a big mirror and pose and walk and walk and pose, because I know that if I'm gonna do this hard work, I'm going to work hard on posing too, because stage time comes around, that is a huge part of your score, and your spray tan and your hair and your jewelry and your makeup. It all is one package. So you got to make sure to do your research or let your coach tell you the whole package that you need. Finding NPC friends, I don't have any in my area. And so I literally had NPC competitors comment on my Instagram stuff, and I know this is like super crazy because I have a huge platform on Instagram, and I would message them and say, let's be friends. And some of them have came to my house and stayed with me and have became really, really good friends of mine. One of them actually, she's came to my house a few times, and I am competing in this show with. Anyways, I hope this cleared up a lot. Thank you guys for watching this video. Be sure to stick around and subscribe for a lot more videos like this. Comment below on what you want me to cover next, because this is all about anything you want me to talk about. I'm super excited for this channel, and maybe I have inspired you to compete, but be sure to stick around because I will walk you through the next 9 weeks of my show prep, and I'm super excited for you guys to watch me walk on stage no matter how good I do. Thank you so much for your love and support always. Check out the links below for some Justice Nutrition supplements and my Bodybymac website. Much love and God bless.